As we all know, the biggest competition in world football, the one everybody wants to win, is the Europa League, and we are getting so close we can taste it. Hopefully, if all goes to plan, we're about to book our spot in the semi-finals of the big one. Hello and welcome to Club 5, part 25 of Non-League Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have the second leg of our Europa League quarter-final against Lazio, plus a very important league game, effectively a Champions League qualification playoff against Bayer Leverkusen in the league, who, by the way, turned me down for the job from the last episode. They weren't interested. I am getting fed up of having interviews and getting turned down for them. Are we not overperforming enough? League-wise, did we beat Dortmund in the last episode? I think we did that in the last episode. So we've just played a couple of games. We beat Lazio 2-0 away in the first leg. It all happened after Lorenzo Canoni came on. Former Roma man Lorenzo Canoni came on and caused all manner of problems for the Lazio defence. Forced that own goal, scored the second. 2-0 absolutely flatters us. We are not complaining at all. We then ground out what we were hoping was going to be a 0-0 against Bayern, but they scored late on in that game to beat us. They've pretty much got the Bundesliga title wrapped up at this point. This is what the league looks like. So 5 games left. We're still 6 points clear of Bayer Leverkusen. We make that 9 points today if we beat them, which, like I say, pretty much qualifies us for the Champions League. 9 points clear with 4 games to go. Obviously 3 points clear with 4 games to go, and iffy form, and hopefully a Europa League to still take part in, and it becomes more of a challenge. But fingers crossed it won't come to that. Let's go play Lazio and try and book our spot in the semi-final, and this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to do exactly that. We've got Meyer in goal, a back four of Friedel, Schuster, Armstrong and Toma. Vital and Mori in midfield. We're a little bit low on midfielders. We could play Rodriguez, but Janicic is injured. There was, what's his face, the new guy, Malloy is injured as well. Rocky is injured. So we've got a little bit of an injury problem in midfield. Luckily, with the strengthening that we did in January, even with a little bit of a mini injury crisis, we're still able to assemble something that looks a bit like a first team. Toma news, by the way. He is now, according to my assistant manager, he's trained as much as he can to be a right back. The only way he'll become natural at it now is by playing there. Well, he's playing there. He's still training for it. Hopefully he'll become a bit more natural in that position as time goes on. And then further forward, we've got Okafor, Matthews and Chaton with Thorne up front. The media are now calling for Liam Thorne to be in the England squad. The England manager, apparently not impressed. So what we've learnt there is that the England manager is an idiot. The danger man from the first leg, Canoni, is going to sit on the bench again. We will bring him on if we need him. But Thorne's our first choice striker, but Canoni clearly had a bit of unfinished business with Lazio, wanting to do a favour for his old boys. Our former defender Bakayoko is in their team as well. We had him when we were at Fulham, but he must be about 1,000 years old now. He was getting on a bit when we were at Fulham 4 years ago with him. Right, we can't afford the first good work from the first leg to be undone. Everyone seems pretty happy about that, and hopefully we don't mess up. If you remember when the draw took place, it always does, the mentions the 2 biggest reputation teams and the 2 lowest reputations still in it. George Armstrong has just scored an absolute screamer. He's our backup centre-back, by the way. He'll be a first choice next year. At the moment, he doesn't play that often. He's in today because he was moaning that he wanted first-team football, so I'm probably going to play him for the rest of the season now. But, I mean, that's an £8 million goal right there. I think that's what we paid for him, £8 million. A defender out of the Championship. I don't understand why some of these players weren't getting opportunities in the Premier League. The likes of Armstrong, and the likes of Malloy, the likes of Thorne. We've basically got a bunch of Premier League reject / quite good Championship players playing in the 3rd best league in the world and doing well in Europe. And I don't understand why the players that we've got perform as well as they do. Is Gegenpress that overpowered? Or have we just got an incredibly good scouting network that can pick the hidden gems? Okafor is in. It's 2-0 on the night. It's 4-0 on aggregate, and we're only 20 minutes in, and we're already in the semi-finals, boys and girls. They're not coming back from this. I am confident enough to say at this point we are in the semi-final, and now we need to keep an eye on who's going to be joining us there. Obviously, the sentence I started to say before all the excitement was Lazio and Juventus were the two big clubs, and we were one of the poor little clubs that were mentioned. So the one other team we kind of want to avoid is Juventus, but at the moment we're beating one of the biggest teams left in the competition. There's only Juventus that we need to worry about, I think. If we can avoid Juventus, if someone else can take care of them for us, our name is written on this trophy, surely, which, of course, in and of itself is a Champions League qualification spot, even if we do manage to mess up the league somehow. But more importantly, it's a trophy to put on my CV, and no matter how much we might mock Thursday night football and not really care about the Europa League officially, obviously we care now that we've got a chance of winning it, but as much as it's not that much of a big deal. Oh, Chaton's injured now. He went down off the ball there, didn't he? That's a bit of a worry. Rocky's injured, so we can't take Chaton off. We might have to bring Canoni on to play on the right wing. Thorne is in. Thorne does brilliantly there. How is that man not in the England squad? It's England's loss, because that was superb. He was challenged, he stumbled, but he used his strength, he used his power, and it was an excellent finish. Chaton, an injured Chaton, plays it over to Thorne, who just does brilliantly to regain his balance, put us 3-0 up, 3-0 on the night, 5-0 on aggregate. I don't even remember what I was saying now. It's all happening too quickly. Oh, yes, I do remember what I was saying. The most important thing about winning this competition, if we manage to do it, is it carries a lot of reputation points, a lot of manager reputation points. Having this on my CV as opposed to no competition wins on my CV, that's going to start opening some of these doors that at the moment are pretty closed to us. If I can go to the likes of Leipzig and Chelsea, not that we'd go back to any of them, but two of the clubs who've turned us down this season, and say, yeah, but I've just won the Europa League, then they might take me a little bit more seriously. Of course, we have to make sure we do win the Europa League, so let's not let Lazio back into this game. They still need to score another 5 goals. Or 4 goals, because that would put them ahead on away goals, wouldn't it? They still need another 4 goals, but I don't think we're going to concede 4 goals in this second half. I think that seems unlikely at this point. Let's stay calm, and just keep playing well. Don't let performance levels drop. I don't need to be assertive in this situation. These lads know what they're doing at this point. They just need to keep playing well. I'm impressed with our performance so far, and hopefully, I don't know. I still don't know whether I want to stay or whether I want to leave. Part of me thinks it will be quite fun to win everything with Hamburg now. Hamburg were the one who took the chance on me when everyone else refused me. Perhaps we do go and win the Champions League with Hamburg and show everybody what they missed out on by turning me down all those times. They might learn for next year's non-league to legend. Right, we've taken off Vital to bring on Rodriguez. We do need to be keeping an eye on Chapman. I mean, he did go down, but he's not showing as having an injury, but then his condition is quite low. I'm going to leave him on for now. What we are going to do... Actually, I'm not going to leave him. I'm going to get Canoni on. I want Canoni on the pitch. He played so well in that first leg that it feels wrong to not have him on the pitch during this second leg, because he clearly doesn't like Lazio very much. They've got wonder kids. We haven't got any wonder kids. That shows how much we're overperforming. We're a team that we don't believe in wonder kids here at Hamburg. We just have quite a bunch of mid to late 20s journeymen who have suddenly found form all at the same time, and it's very confusing. The likes of Okafor and Chaton and Thorne, Janicic, we can go on and on. These are players who've been around a long time and have never really excelled anywhere. But when they play together, they play well. We do need to stop making victory speeches, though, and just make sure that we don't mess up this game. So, as a final change, we're going to bring Butgerite on for Toma. Butgerite's actually been our best player this season on average rating-wise. Butgerite, Schuster, these players that we've got in on loan, I am going to be attempting to sign them permanently this summer, assuming we get the kind of budget I'm hoping we get. Because it would be nice to stop relying on loans, but players like Butgerite and Schuster, they've been around so long now, they deserve to be part of the ongoing success. And there is Lorenzo Canoni again. He's got goals in both legs. He's got Lazio's number. It's his 14th goal of the season for a player who very infrequently starts. Cannoni has had an amazing season. He's started maybe a handful of games. He doesn't always even come on as a striker. He plays on either wing, plays up front sometimes. To have got the amount of goals that he's got has been an incredible season. He's another perfect example of these journeyman players who shouldn't be any good. Matthews is another one. We're full of them. We're like Leicester, we're the Leicester of the Bundesliga. Like old Leicester who won the Premier League, not current Leicester who didn't or don't. I suppose they still did. They haven't recently. I know, you know what I mean. I know what I mean. Let's not dwell on it. We're in the semi-finals of the Europa League. Now we can give them a bit of passion. They've been gagging for some passion. Now we give them a little bit, but not too much. We want to hold some passion back for after the next round because we're going to win this thing. Who else is still in it? I want to see who else is still in it. So Juventus, us, Real Betis, Lyon. I mean, some of those are quite good teams. I think the better teams went through each. Maybe Lazio probably should have beaten us, but other than that, I think the better team's gone through each time. So it's probably the worst case semi-final scenario we could have had. But let's just try and avoid Juventus. We're going to do that now. Here we go then, semi-final draw time. All we want to do is avoid Juventus. So, anyone but us here, please. Fine. We've got to do it the hard way. I'm not afraid of you. When do we do this? So. I guess we're going to do it the same way we've been doing it. We'll just look at the second leg. So, we're going to play Bayer Leverkusen now. Then I'm going to play some more games offline. And then I guess we'll do Juventus. And depending on what the Champions League situation is looking like, it might be Freiburg, it might be Eintracht Frankfurt, it might skip a game and be Wolfsburg. I basically want to show you the second leg of the semi-final and us qualifying for the Champions League. And then the episode after that, the final. But first, Bayer Leverkusen. So back in the league then, just a couple of days later, we've made a couple of changes. Rocky comes in for Chapman because Chapman is injured. He did do his hamstring, even though it wasn't showing as an injury. He's now going to be out for 2 to 8 days with a pulled hamstring. I don't understand. Probably should have just taken him off. Also, I've swapped Emmanuel over with Schuster. Just why not? If we're going to play Armstrong for a run of games, just rotate those two. Seems to make sense to me. Let's go and win this. Like I say, this game is effectively a Champions League qualification spot playoff. If we can win this one, we're pretty much there. So let's try. I think we're going to stay calm. We've been doing the calm team talks for a while now, and this team seems to respond well to calmness. Oh, they've got Arp up front. The player who started it all with the money that was knocking around at Hamburg for a little while, I think obviously well before my time, we sold him for £65 million to this lot. And he's still there, and he still chirps up in the media every now and again talking about me, even though he's never met me in this universe. We're very well acquainted on Twitch, but he's never met me here on YouTube. And it's a bit troubling that he seems to presume to know about me, but maybe we'll bring him back. I think he's 29. Maybe we'll bring him back and he can offer some competition to Liam Thorne if we're going to qualify for the Champions League and Bayer Leverkusen are going to miss out again. He may as well come to the Champions League club, play some Champions League football with us. Friedel with the corner, doesn't get anywhere near any of our players, but it does fall to Okafor eventually. Thorne across to Rocky, and Rocky was in form last episode. He missed out on the Lazio game with injury, but he's back today and still in form. And it's Bayer Leverkusen 0, Hamburg 1 after 3 minutes. And I want to look at the league table again. Get the league table back in front of me, for goodness sake. Who needs replays? Table me. Come on now. Just going to wait. There we go. So, as it stands, we would be 7 points clear of Borussia Mönchengladbach and Nuremberg. Bayer Leverkusen back behind them even as it stands. But 7 points clear with 4 games left. And they're 4 relatively straightforward games. I think that's all but there. if we can hang on now. We've got the rest of this game to cling on to this lead. It would obviously be nice to go and grab another 3 or 4 goals before half time and really start to feel comfortable, but I'm not averse to grinding out a result if we have to. Emmanuel now plays it forward, looking for Thorne. Thorne does brilliantly to get a hold of it, beats one man, and then I think is fouled, but Okafor picks it up. Thorne's back up again. He's fouled. Is it Thorne or Matthews who are fouled? Someone is getting kicked about in there, and we do have a penalty. It's Friedel to take to put us 2-0 up. It's exactly what he does. Bayer Leverkusen 0, Hamburg 2, 12 minutes on the clock. And I am starting to feel a little bit more Champions League-y again. And my brain is now starting to speculate what might happen to seedings for the Champions League next season. Let's say, in a happy scenario, we win the Europa League, we qualify for the Champions League again. We did all right in the Champions League this year, but finished third in our group, so we didn't exactly overperform. Are we going to get a horrible, horrible group again next? Oh, look at that. Arp's in. Only his 8th goal of the season. I would have expected more from him. If he was playing for me, he wouldn't still be on the pitch if he'd only had 8 or 7 goals previously over the course of the season. That's just not enough. But let's say we do qualify for the Champions League. Having just won the Europa League, are we going to be 4th seed again like we were this? Will we 3rd or 4th seed? Either way round, we need to at least be up to 2nd seed to avoid another horrific group, because the quality of teams in the Champions League, it's quite difficult for a team like us to compete against the likes of who did we have? Paris Saint-Germain and Atletico Madrid, wasn't it, this time around? Let's see how we got on against Juventus in the semi-final of the Europa League. They might be another one who are just that tier above that we can't touch. Right. Calm. We stay calm. And, yeah, just guard against complacency. Calmly guard, though. I am finding recently, if we calmly avoid complacency, that makes us less complacent than if we assertively avoid complacency. I think this team just likes my calm demeanour. Probably because I've been stressed out, assertive and passionate for so long with them. They're just enjoying the fact, oh, he's chilled out a little bit. He's calmed down. Let's try and keep him happy so he doesn't go between grumpy and giddy the way he has done for the last 2 years. Right, Riedel now plays it forward to Okafor. Okafor, ball over the top for Thorne to chase. And that's exactly what he does. And Thorne is in, and it's straight at the Bayer goalkeeper. But we do have a corner. And it's Matthews to take. We've got men in the middle. Aimed for Thorne, and it's straight at their keeper again. Liam Thorne has had some chances in this game, and it would be nice for him to score a goal at some point. Cannoni sat there on the bench ready to come on. We know he's in very good form as well. So Thorne isn't going to play the whole of this match unless he can convert a chance soon. Vital does, though, and look how happy he is about it. Vital has really struggled to nail down a spot in this team over the course of this season, but he's our captain today in the absence of Janicic, who's injured. And he's just done a Janicic style goal. Edge of the area. First time of asking. Bang. 3-1 up on the hour. That's job done now, isn't it? We can't mess it up from here, surely. Gee. Okay, we're going to do our best to make... Offside? Do we not go to the little telly there? That felt very offsidey to me. So there's this. I didn't actually see when the kick happened. Certainly, by the time it's made it to our goalkeeper, they had 3 players offside. I assume they were all onside as the kick was taken, and they've just done a number on our defence, which, I mean, the defence need to have a word with themselves if they've let themselves get into that kind of a pickle. Right, Mori is going to come off for Rodriguez. Armstrong's not playing particularly well. I tell you what, I don't do it very often. We are going to change the back. We're going to bring Schuster on for Armstrong. We're defending a lead. I know Armstrong wants more regular football, but if we're defending a 1-goal lead, let's have our best 2 centre-backs on the pitch. And that's what we've got now. So, makes sense to me. Thorne now beats his man. Thorne's played very well, apart from end product today. Matthews is in. And again, straight at the keeper. We've had 4 clear-cut chances to their 0. If we somehow manage to not win this game, we need to have a long, hard look in the mirror. It's Friedel in acres of space on the left-hand side. And he just stood there for long enough to let everyone catch up with him. Matthews now to Thorne. Toma's in space now. Toma bursts forward, tries to get the crossover, and it ends up back with Toma, who gets fouled. No, apparently that's not a foul now. He literally kicked through him. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that, but they're going to score again. Oh, they've hit the post. Friedel with a desperate clearance, and things are getting a little bit iffy. What shout do we do? Do I tell them to let's tell them to concentrate? That could backfire. They don't often like being told to concentrate. There you go. I've overwhelmed them. For goodness sake, how is that overwhelming? Let's get Canoni on. If we can't defend, let's go and attack. We're going to bring him on for Okafor. You lot are going to ruin me for that. We're going to bring... No, I'm going to bring... I tell you, forget that. We're going to bring him on for Okafor. It's what I'd have done if you lot weren't watching. Canoni scores goals from there. I know Okafor's arguably our best player, and it's now 3-3. The change hasn't made yet, so you can't blame me taking Okafor off for us conceding that one. If we now lose the game, that's my fault. I don't want to see you replay. Yes, we still want to make the change. And can we do some passion now? Let's show some passion. Let's go get a winner. We've got Canoni up there who's in form, ready to grab a winner. We've got Rocky who's in form. And we've got Thorne who has done enough to deserve a goal today. Matthews bursts through. Vital out to Friedel. Friedel! He wasn't on my list of players I expected to do it. And he had both Canoni and Thorne in the middle waiting for the pass. But he just decided to ignore him and do it all by himself. And what a finish. The two fullbacks have been brilliant there. Toma charging forward. Friedel on the overlap. And a lovely finish from Friedel. You wouldn't think that we were a team who are sometimes should be... Well, I was trying to say our fullbacks both shouldn't have been up there like that at that stage of the game. But niblets to that. They were. They combined brilliantly. It overwhelmed the Bayer Leverkusen defence and got us the goal, which hopefully goes down as the winning goal. We've got two men against their one defender every single time in wide areas, and it is awesome to watch. Obviously, it does leave us open to being caught on the counter-attack, but Canoni's played it over the top of Thorne, but he wasn't quite alive to it and doesn't get there in time. Leverkusen are playing a very strange system, a flat front three with basically no midfield, and we've conceded another goal. This has been a weird game. We're both overpowering each other in wide areas in attacking positions, because they've got their front three against what's often a back two for us, and we've got what's often a front six against their back four. So it's just a goal fest, a crazy, crazy goal fest. I mean, a draw's not a disaster. A 4-4 draw's weird. I've finally got a team in FM19 playing my style. Just end-to-end attacking nonsense. But we probably should have won this game. We're 5 points clear with 4 games to go. That's still not a disaster, especially when you look at the games we've got to play. But I am going to be assertive. Yeah, we were in a winning position there and should have done better. And that seems to have motivated them, which is marvellous. So looking at the league table, who have we still got to play? We've still got to play Hertha, Freiburg, Frankfurt, Wolfsburg. So, Hertha, Freiburg, Frankfurt, Wolfsburg. We should be in the Champions League, boys and girls. So, we are going to be back. When are we going to be back? Saturday, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock. We'll be back with the second leg of Juventus and either Freiburg or Frankfurt, depending on which one looks most likely to secure us qualification for the Champions League. But we'll definitely have the second leg of the Europa League semi-final against Juventus. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.